Hey, it's Kristen. I'm a somatic experience practitioner from Venice Beach, California. And this space is all about body-based reflection, emotional healing, and tapping into your personal truth. So we're gonna do our tarot card reading. We're gonna see what comes up for today. Remember, you are your own first healer. All right. So what's the heart want to say about your vision? Where is the core of your creativity and work right now? It's unblocking yourself. It's rewiring those spaces in your brain that want to go back into old stories that you would tell about yourself, negative thinking, questioning yourself, allowing other people to define you or to define your work in the world, or to tell you what is right, what is the standard way of doing it. You're sick of that. You want to break free emotionally from feeling obligated to listen to other people. And you want to break free of telling yourself that you need to be obligated, that you have to follow some kind of path that maybe you chose 5 years ago because that was what you thought you needed to do. You want to break free from continually blocking yourself, from allowing what other people perhaps are doing to you or saying to you. To it feels like some of you have, it's like a block in the heart, or and a block sort of in this part of your body where you kind of want to move forward. You have this spark of inspiration in the heart, but it's like, oh, I can't do it because of what's happening to me right now, how I'm being treated, or how you've been treated in the past perhaps is kind of dripping into the storyline that's present right now, as opposed to just being present with what is in the moment and asking yourself, how do I feel right now? Do I feel attacked right now? Do I actually feel stuck in this moment, or am I hanging on to an idea because I felt stuck yesterday? So how is it you feel in this moment? What can you tell yourself in this moment? Can you take that, that hard left in the way that you're thinking right now? Can you snap yourself out of it? Because that's what you want to do. That's what you're being called to do. To not be in confusion. To say what you mean without worrying about if other people understand. Because if you understand it, other people are going to understand it. If they don't, they're not your people anyway. And what do you need to get clear about? What blockages is it that you're looking to understand? And there's this question, do you need to really understand your blocks? Do you really need to get into the nitty-gritty and understand them? I think that, when you've been in this place of like, maybe you're in this self-awareness process, you're trying to understand, well, I feel this block, I feel this, there's this inspiration somewhere locked in there. I can't really get to it. I feel stuck in the heart. I feel, like my gut is not guiding me. I'm not listening to my gut. Is it really necessary to even try to figure it out or understand it right now? Probably not. Come to think of it, come to feel to that. So let it go. What is this block about? How does it look somatically? What is this pattern and cycle that you've been breaking, that you're looking to break? It's the past. And it could stem from things in your childhood, ancestral things, familial things, things from your adolescence. For some of you, things from your 20s, right when you got out of college and you were trying to carve your own path and be your own person, but perhaps there were people whispering in your ear, or people telling you what you should do, and that activated that doubt that you had within yourself. Sometimes, we have little doubts and we're human and that's okay. And when other people kind of start telling us what they think the right path for us is, or we're looking around and we're seeing other people kind of go down a more standard path, or they seem to be more clear about what they're doing than we are. They seem to have it together. I mean, chances are they probably didn't. Chances are they didn't know anything more than you. And chances are they were too afraid to take risks and to go the road less traveled. So perhaps going the road less traveled, while you have all these people kind of telling you, why are you doing that? Why are you going that way? You should do this. There can be this juxtaposition when you're a born, creative rebel, when you're a sacred rebel, when you're somebody that wants to do things differently. And it can be this sort of balance, right? Of I want the approval of whoever, so that we can feel our own self-approval based on their approval. But then there's also this rebellion of, no, I don't want to do that. And that's so uncomfortable to me and I want to go this way. But then we don't feel comfortable in our own pathway because there's a part of us that was still seeking a certain kind of approval. And then that can kind of become integrated as we move on in life, even as we are doing things perhaps differently, and always making the choice to do what feels right for us, even if it's something that nobody else can understand, or maybe general society doesn't understand, or maybe you aren't even telling people exactly all it is that you're doing, or you're not sharing everything about yourself because you're afraid of what people will think based on some earlier kind of event where being yourself caused a trauma at some point. Perhaps you told your parents you wanted to be a musician, and it became a huge big drama, and people were crying and people were angry and people were upset, or you could have been saying, I want to be a doctor as opposed to a lawyer because your family are all lawyers, and that caused a big thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be any kind of archetype. It could literally have been anything. That you wanted to go to a college out of your own state, and nobody in your family ever leaves your town, or your whole family goes to the University of Chicago, and you want to go to New York University, and it becomes a thing. It's like you're not following this path that everybody thinks that you should be following, or it's somehow going to be a disappointment if you go your own way or do your own thing. And there can be just a little something kicking up in there, that's still kind of running that story. And so even though you've done an amazing job of doing your own thing, there's a part of you that just isn't, that feels stuck in a continuation of doing your own thing. I think that you're at a point where you want to shift again. You want to make a pivot point. And it's like there's this old idea of I just can't, or I don't have it within me, or what if I fail, or what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong and I can't? And it's kicking up from the past, from some mistake that you perceived that you made. All the choices that we make, regardless of whether they work out or not, are part of our process. And usually, whether we want to hear this or not, they're part of who we are, and our gifts and our skills and our talents, and part of the wisdom that we're carrying, to be that version of ourselves that we are working towards being, right? And it can start off as one thing in life and then become a whole different thing. But I'm talking to a group of people here where it's like you feel like every path that you've chosen has somehow been a disappointment, and then it becomes this whole story around disappointment. But you're also doing it at the same time, right? So you're like, I am this, I am doing my own thing, I am my own person, but then there's some stuck energy around it. So what's the path to unsticking? What's the path of, of embodied alignment, with your own personal truth? It's strength. It's really resisting the old storyline. It's really resisting where you think you should be pulled to go, whether you feel you're being pulled there by a community, by a group of people, by a family member, by some person in your life, or perhaps there's a part of you pulling yourself there because you feel like you should, right? And there is no should. You don't have to do anything. There's nothing that you should do. It's what you want to do. So there's also something here about always being the rebel and always having to show, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to be different. And I think there's this resistance to always having to go out of your way to show how different you are, or that you're going to, stand out by being different in this way. And I think that for a lot of you, it could be a little bit isolating, or you could feel a little bit separate in this, that, I stood my ground. I didn't do what my family wanted, or my boyfriend at the time, or whoever. I stood my ground, but there's something that makes you feel separate in the process. So you're also surrendering, and to surrendering who you really are and what you really want, it can sometimes be dropping this idea of what you should be doing, and that's what you should be doing to yourself, not what you should be doing just to other people. Like I've always, done things this way, and I have to continue to do it that way. Well, no, you don't. Where do you want to surrender in your heart to? What is it that you really want to go forward with? So this block that you're feeling is about completely surrendering to listening to where you feel comfortable and where you feel that you're moving towards your sense of belonging to yourself and to your personal revolution, and to also surrendering to wanting to be seen and accepted for exactly who you are, not needing approval, but being seen by the right people and accepted by the right people. And one of the right people is you. So I'm going to end it there for today. Please let me know in the comments below what you resonated with. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed and liked this video. And please consider subscribing if you want to be a part of the community. Come hang out with me more. Lots of cool videos coming up. I'm so excited to share, and I hope you'll come along on the ride with me. And the kitties, they'll be here too. Bye.